blessings. No, they keep coming to me. I can't stop God's blessings. No, I just can't stop. I just can't stop. No, just can't stop. Just can't stop. No, 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 I can't stop God's blessings. No, no, they keep coming to me. I can't stop God's blessings.
And journalism and media, it's elusive in a way, and so you've got to be the creator, and you've got to find methodologies of how to replicate that on a daily basis. And so sometimes it's easier said than done, because we can talk and talk and talk, but when you're putting that to as an application, then that's another story. And then that's more personal. And so that's why, Viata is really resonating with me, because that is freedom. What that lifestyle is, I've seen it over and over and over in everyone, and I'm quite sure there are your ups and downs, especially if you're going through some transitions to something different. But that part that they show, what happens when you're successful with that, is what I advocate here in Chicago. I've advocated it with the aldermen. I've advocated it at certain forums. It was a pushback because Chicago is so constructually uh, dead set on their system and their ways of constructing, until there's no doors open for the ingenuity of housing. And so, that gives us freedom, because most of the people that are living in the more urban areas, they are experiencing gentrification. And so here you go again, that slave mentality of something that controls you and renders you homeless. It renders you struggling. You have to now pay more for utilities, more for housing. So now, whatever your hopes, dreams, aspirations, it takes us back seat, because now you got to work toward survival. And
Right,
so here we are.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And that, and being in survival mode, it is very stressful. It is hurtful. It's very stressful, and it takes a toll on one mentally and emotionally and even physically. But just because you're in survival mode does not mean you have to stay in survival mode. And speaking of which, Violetta,
Viata.
Viata. Hi, let me introduce myself to you. I'm Brian. I'm a writer, a wrongful convictions advocate, and even photographer. And and I just wanted to tell you that I subscribe. I just literally just subscribed to your YouTube channel not even 20 minutes ago.
Oh, thank you.
And I plan on looking at some of your videos, and if you could leave some your contact information in the chats, we'll respond accordingly.
Okay. And I have a Facebook page. You can contact me there. Or my email. I can give you my email address.
What's your Facebook page?
It's under either Viata, my name, Viata Robinson, or I have one, Soul Purpose Healing is another one. But if you can find me under my name, Viata or Viata.
Okay, we had another caller, but the person has since left. We didn't get to introduce them. But Marcus has since joined us. So Marcus, welcome to the show.
Hello.
How are you?
All right.
Hello, Marcus.
Hi, Marcus.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Viata. If I'm pronouncing your name right.
That's right.
Hi, Marcus. How are you tonight?
All right.
All right. So, Marcus, what is your opinion on Juneteenth? I mean, what do you?
Well, I think Juneteenth it's just really recently people really just started celebrating it in these few years. Um, I think it's our version of the 4th of July, and I think that we need to support more black businesses. We need to do better in our black community. Um, we need to also take note at cases like the case that happened in Texas and the situation that happened in Carolina. My take on that is that I feel that Carmelo should be free because he was defending himself. And the fact that he did tell the police that he did this, well, that shows his innocence because most kids his age would have ran and left and denied that they had anything to do with what he did. I feel that he should be free. I feel that he got a bad deal. I feel that the black community during this Juneteenth need to be raising heck nationwide about it, as well as what happened to that little boy in Carolina back in 2023. Although we just now hearing about it. I think black people need to quit spending their money in stores where people don't respect them or respect their children. And I think we also need to do our own cleanup accountability. We need to come to reality. I've listened to many podcasts and people talk, they make excuses for these teenagers going downtown tearing up. There is no excuse, and it's not that don't nobody want them downtown. Those kids go down there to disrupt. They go down there to tear up, and we want to blame, well, there are no resources in our neighborhood. At one time there was, but the gang culture ran those resources out of our neighborhood. So we need to not only blame the system, but we need to blame the system of bad parenting. We need to blame the system of you can be a good parent and your kid will still go out there and do the wrong thing. These kids need to also be held accountability. And what we need to do in our community is teach our kids about accountability. Teach them about if you make somebody a victim, then you deserve to compensate that victim. Because all I hear right now on all of these podcasts is feeling sorry for the perps. No one should be in jail. Jail is a modern day slavery, but these kids are loading the gun and they're giving the white man the gun to shoot them with. They're giving them the rope to hang them with. They're giving them the lock and the keys to lock them up with and put them back in slavery. They don't even realize that they are back in slavery. It's just not widely spread yet. But look at the jails, free labor, bad, horrible conditions. Who wants to go there? But they pay these young teenagers millions of dollars to make trap music to lure them like the Pied Piper. Get in these young kids' mind, and what you're seeing is a rap video being acted out in our neighborhood. But the reality of that is, in the rap videos, those are actors. In reality, a person can't come back to life and do it over again.
All right.
So Juneteenth to me is we need to unify. We need to accept accountability for what's going on in our community and come up with a solution to deal with it. Otherwise, these other people are going to do a repeat. And there is no Abe Lincoln, which I never believed that Lincoln freed the slaves anyway. He didn't want to free us, but he didn't have a choice. In the end, God got the last word. And in the end, here, God will get the last word.
Thank you, Marcus.
Listen, I would like to say to you, this is Levette. You are just coming on the show. Is that correct?
Huh?
You're just coming on the show?
Yeah, I heard some of it before I hung up. I was trying to get in where I could talk. It was another
Okay.
link that you can only listen.
Okay. Because you repeated everything, so you validated everything that we talked about from the beginning. And you are spot on with everything. And so, we were talking a little bit earlier, and Viata was talking about parents taking accountability. And and my take on it was something that you did repeat, and that is sometimes you're a good parent, and children are being influenced by all of these subcultures. See, when we talk about culture, the culture is what elevates you. Subcultures,
Mm-hmm.
they bring you to a lower level. And so we've got, like you're talking about, the trap music that keeps us mentally enslaved, because and some people really don't understand what is trap music. And so when you say trap music, what do you mean?
I mean, glorifying the street culture, the gang culture. It's a glorification of gang culture, which is self destruction, which is hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no solution in that music. And the only thing they can do, a lot of them get high. They listen to that
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
music, they get high, and they act
Mm-hmm.
out
Mm-hmm.
what they see on the rap videos or what the music is telling them to do. A lot of this is
Mm-hmm.
influenced by these rappers, and these rappers
Mm-hmm.
come from gangs. I mean, they call
Mm-hmm.
this King Von. What was he the king of? He killed
Mm-hmm.
people. He
Uh,
robbed
Mm-hmm.
people. Tell me,
Mm-hmm.
what was he the king of? And if you speak out against him about it on social media, it's almost
Mm-hmm.
like you got people that don't like Farrakhan. All right, it's almost like speaking against Farrakhan. To the
Mm-hmm.
gangs, they'll want to get the young people will hate you for it. He was their
Mm-hmm.
king, but how can somebody who's a murderer and a thief be a king of anything?
Okay.
I
And
mean,
the reason that I asked you about the trap music, because um we did a festival a few years ago. It's called Lagoon Fest. We do it every year, and we're going to do it again in September. So one of
mhm,
the musicians, who's a young person, created a composition based on the megahertz of water. And so when you say trap music, yes, it's all of the above that you said, but as this young man was telling me about being in the studio, they are, these engineers and ones that are pushing this, they are asking the musicians to play music in a very low megahertz. And that is unsuspecting to young people that this is something that's controlling them. And so, as we were told that we couldn't beat the drums because that was a certain elevation of sound. So, we have, as a society, allowed this low level music, because sometimes you don't even hear the words. Seriously. I mean, even though
you just hear mumble.
you may subconsciously receive the words, but the young people, they say, "Hey, I like the beat." And so
Right.
the devil is in the beat. And I used to even tell my children, they're in there, in close to 50 now. But during that time, I was listening to what they were listening to. And I would tell them based upon what I knew in the street. I said, listen, when you hear that music, don't be around, because everybody knew when you heard that music that was being played and it wasn't the right music, somebody was going to get shot. And I told them, when you're in a circle, don't be in anybody's circle, because that's a negative kind of energy that you're building. And so our children are unsuspecting to these things. We even have, in the urban city, we have a certain megahertz that's through the airways, that sometimes you may hear ringing in your ear, not tinnitus, but there is something that is going off that is affecting our young people. Not only that, the water that they drink is full of lead. That it's a proven fact that the association with lead in the water causes criminality. And so we are dealing with a lot of things that are not understood, but and especially by our young people, because some of them probably go home and it's like, I didn't know why I did that. I don't know why I joined that club. I don't know why I joined that group, and I knew that they were getting ready to go down the wrong street. And so, and I'll just tell you as an example, my granddaughter, who is 19 and not of this world and society, because she's doing other things. She's one of Wanda's potential students in film, and
Mm-hmm.
so but you gotta let them go. And she's sort of been getting out there and getting into programs, and so this particular day she was going to meet a group who was doing some Bible studies, but they were going to meet in Fulton Market. And so as she was just about to go, she was on her way, someone called and canceled. And I said, you would have been out there by yourself. I say, so from now on, you cannot do that, not in my presence. You cannot, if I have to drive you or if you need to take your sister, but you will not be doing that. Now, she could have said, I'm 19, I can do what I want to do. Because some children, some young people, they'll tell you that. And that's the mindset they have. But she agreed because she saw the danger in it. So that was a blessing that she at 19 would listen and say, I think you're right, because I know you've never tried to steer me in the wrong direction. But to show them, I would love for you to have your freedom. I would love for you to, but we're in a different society. Someone see you, they know you're green. They could just see you from a mile away. And so that's why I want her to work very closely with Wanda, because she has an interest in film. And so that's how we connect with our young people, find out what their hopes, dreams, and aspirations. And then we can work on one at a time, because there's no way that we can speak to the masses unless we do it through through what my organization promotes is the plan. And the plan is peace, love, art, and nature. And when I get them in, if they want to do a performance, I just have to let them know it's got to be under the plan. And the plan is PLAN, peace, love, art, and nature. And so then they have a choice of four things. And so then that's a choice. It's like a baby. You don't give them multiple foods at one time. You feed them one thing at a time to make sure they can handle it. And so that's an approach that we can deal with our young people. And you'll find more of them would rather be a part of this than they are with the streets, because I've always known the streets are strong and the streets will guide you wrong. And so
Mm-hmm.
we have to be the determining factor. What you know, then share it with a young person. And sometimes it may have to be in song, it may have to be in dance, it may have to be in rhythm, it may have to be something that they say, oh, you can do something like that. So that's why in my music, because I'm a recording artist, and in my music, I got some rap songs that just blow them away. So I thought about it, right? I thought about it long and hard. What can I do? What's the rhythm that I can give them? And 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 when I do, it's so appropriate to the time that they like, Miss Levette, did you write that? Oh, yes, I did. And so now I can reel them in. Not that they little fish that got to throw a hook in the water and reel them in, but if I can reel them in, that's how I just feel we can do. And know, we all know the issues. And like you said, Brother Marcus, we've got to be solutionary, and then know that God is first. And God, you rise above everything with your belief. And so we believe differently. But I think those that are sincere in their belief, those are the ones that are heard. And so I don't ever argue religion or someone's faith, because I think sometimes you can say what your faith is or what your religion is, and you're not true to it. So whoever is true, if
Mm-hmm.
you're a Buddhist praying to a box, if you true to that, then be true to it. Don't be a fake. If you believe in Islam, if you believe in Christianity, in whatever your belief in, whatever your belief is, be true to that belief, and the universe hears you. And we've got to get to our young people with a different narrative, just like Viyata. They need to know tiny house living. They need to know that it makes no sense to pay $4,000 for an apartment in Chicago. It makes no sense. And I have talked to the department head, what does she call, the commissioner of housing for the city. I have sat at the table with her and advocated for tiny houses, and she says to me that they just had a forum somewhere in another city. And I'm like, well, we need to know what happened so that we can institute that kind of thing here in Chicago, because homelessness is unnecessary. It is
In a city this
unnecessary.
big.
Right, in a city this big, it is unnecessary. And so
Mhm.
here we don't have solutions. And so back to the word Juneteenth and our Freedom Day. We the if you ask people, are you free? Do you feel free? A lot of them are going to tell you how trapped they feel. And so we need to be real. This is a celebration for sure, but it shouldn't be it shouldn't be commercial.
Right.
And that's what happens with some of our celebration. It becomes so commercial. It's like some of the events, they're like, this you gotta pay $300 a van. How the heck you gonna walk away with any profit? And so we're, like I said, we're at the Gold Dome. Anybody wants to be a vendor, guess what? $25. That's it. And food vendors, not much more than that. And so who are we that this is something that we're profiting off of a small business? That's not a Juneteenth spirit. And so we tell people we got the best vendor fee in Chicago because we're not in it for a profit. Some people, they do this, but if we're talking about freedom and we're talking about how to just rise above this, because 1865 to now, and we're still feeling that we're entrapped, that we're still in bondage. So yes, Juneteenth is a celebration, but like Viata was saying, it's another reality, and we've got to really deal with it. And Miss Carter, she doesn't like for you to be long-winded, but sometimes she may have to tell me, take a break,
Hmm.
Levette. Wanda?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And
All
so,
right.
are there any questions, or who else has some interjections of this day? Because I think this is going to be a great um uh uh coming together of minds
I just
that need to be heard.
I wanted to comment on something Mark.
Marcus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, if he goes free, we really do need to the lesson about conflict resolution. Because if he goes free, then that's almost a pass that it's okay to use the force of a knife when you're attacked or were bullied or whatever. Because now they're saying, well, there were 4 people who attacked him and
Well,
he was self-defense. And so I don't know. We don't really know what happened because there's a lot of information coming out now that they.
well, from
Okay, I'm
what
not
I'm
done.
hearing,
Let me finish,
okay,
please.
no
So
problem.
whatever happens, it's the youth of our day that need the lesson to learn how to resolve conflicts without a knife or a gun. That's the problem in the Black community right now. We got people killing each other because they don't know how to resolve conflict. So whatever happens to Carmelo, he's in Texas. We're in Florida. We're in Chicago. It's really none of our business other than to say, what is the Creator trying to show us with this incident? Because that young man needs to learn a lesson that his parents didn't teach him. And my opinion is that we got to teach the youth who are observing this and who are the younger Gen Z, whatever, that you got to learn how to resolve conflict, or you're going to be in vacation Bible school along with all the other prisoners. So I don't know about him going free, but let's just focus on preventing this mess that they have in Texas right now versus, let it go free. He didn't do anything wrong. No, he did something wrong. He wouldn't be in this mess. And his parents made some bad decisions. Go ahead, Marcus.
Okay, so I'm gonna respond to that. First of all, that white kid had no business saying anything to Carmelo. None of this wouldn't have happened if those white kids didn't try to jump him. He was defending himself. Now, a bear has claws, a dog has teeth, a lion has teeth. You can't tell neither one of those creatures how to defend themselves. Carmelo gave him a warning. He didn't heed that warning. Hold up, let me finish. He didn't heed that warning. He kept messing with this boy. And first of all, it wasn't a knife, it was something that goes with their cleats. That's the white media is saying that it was a knife to demonize this boy. And they're also saying that his parents raised all that money. They also shut down the GoFundMe account and they didn't really get none of that money. So I feel, this is how I feel, and a whole lot of other black people right here in Chicago feel the same way, that he should not be in jail. He was defending himself. The twin brother, the twin brother of the victim also came at Carmelo. What are these black children supposed to do? Just like white kids walk up to them and beat the crap out of them and they not do anything? The police beats the crap out of them every day for being black and throw them in jail. I'm not saying that a lot of these kids should get off, but this one should be free. And as far as what happened in Carolina with Cyrus, that dude should be locked up. What was they thinking in that state? And it is our business, whether we live in Chicago, Florida, Miami, or whatever, or St. Louis. It's happening all over the nation. And if the black community study going along with this lie about this kid started this and that he should be locked up, then the twin brother of the boy should also be locked up. And the other four kids that they're not showing or bringing up, they should all be locked up. Because
Okay.
all of this happened, hold up, all of this happened because this one little white boy did not want this black kid under the tent. And some people would say, well, he shouldn't have been there. Well, I used to work for the park district. And when it rained, kids from different parks, they came under that park's tent. Those kids are not qualified to tell another kid you need to get out this tent. Now, what the victim should have did was went and got a coach, an adult. He didn't do that. He played like a lot of these racist white people do. He played police and he got in this black boy's face for no reason. Carmelo did not have a knife. He had what a device that they use to do something with the cleats that to make his cleats better. It was raining that day. It was a storm coming. And if it's a storm, you're not thinking which tent to run under. You're going to run under the first tent you see to take shelter. Just like this morning when I was at the Obama Library, it was raining. I wasn't thinking about what tent to run under. I'm going to run out under the first tent I see to take shelter from the rain. That's your natural reaction. That white boy had no business coming up to that black kid. If that wouldn't have never happened, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd probably be talking about something else. But the same thing can happen in Chicago. It can happen anywhere across this country. If we continue to let these white people get away with this, they're going to continue to do it, and they're going to get even bolder with it.
Yeah,
And the young ones are just as bad.
What do you think we should be doing, Marcus? What can we do at this point?
What can we do? We should be putting pressure nationwide as black people. We should be putting pressure on Texas to appeal this case because it was flawed. And if you're going to throw away Carmelo, throw away that boy's twin brother. We should also be educating our black young men on how to deal with conflict knowing when to walk away. But this was a situation that I can't say Carmelo should have walked away. He had every right to defend himself. But we need to educate our black